What is it? Evil grandma be like, sleep loose, let the bed bugs bite.
What?
Bad night,
Bad night.
sleep loose.
Loose. What is?
Alrighty then, welcome to the myBuddyEric podcast. We're here at an unusually early 1:45 p.m.
Yeah, it's our first,
daytime
may
podcast.
I say it, morning session.
Closest thing to morning that we're ever gonna get, probably.
Yeah.
So I've been on the early rise grind lately,
How early is early?
like 8:30.
It's too early for me,
Not
though.
like super early. Like I passed out at like 12:45 last night. I was really tired after the show I went to, but
Tell more.
Tell me about the show.
Tell more.
I forgot how I pronounce it. I looked it up last
so
night.
I saw Atarashi Gakko. That's basically they're a J-pop group, but like the gimmick is that they all dress like they're in high school still, and they're like a little awkward, and it's like I don't know, it's like a little bit more unhinged than most J-pop, and like everything about like their whole aesthetic is unusual. Like the girl who's like the lead singer Suzuka has like an uncharacteristically like low voice for K-pop or for J-pop, and yeah, I don't know, it was really cool. Like, I mean, their singing was all good across the board, but the thing that really blew me away about it was like the visuals. Like each song had a custom like visual on the video board. And they had like fully choreographed dances for every song.
Bro, choreographed dances for like a musical performance is crazy.
For a full like hour and 15-minute concert.
Yeah.
It's like nuts.
Damn, yeah, that is pretty crazy. Well, yeah, and then you have to sit there and practice it like every single day, right? To get it down, you know?
It becomes like musical theater more than
Yeah.
like
Like
I'm used to the band world, so as soon as I see somebody like
It would kind of trip me out. I don't know if I'd enjoy it all too much. I'm not going to lie to you. If I saw that, I'd be like, are they really feeling the music or are they just doing what they're told up there?
yeah,
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
sometimes they're really spending the time to like coordinate what that show looks like. That's
Oh,
part
for
of
sure.
their vision.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand like the idea and there's definitely some passion behind this. Now, would I enjoy it?
I think
don't
you
know.
could like tell that they were like really into it still.
Nice.
That and like the fact that they weren't able to really communicate with the crowd, you could tell they were having fun with.
Oh, true. So it was the full Japanese
Yeah,
show. They didn't speak any English the whole
they
time.
spoke some English, but like not good English. In the first song, one of the girls accidentally kicked her shoe into the audience, and she was like trying to get it back, and she like didn't know how to ask where it was, and she's like shoe home here, and points at her foot.
Shoe home. Oh, bro, I would be running out the club with that shoe. I'm a fucking middle linebacker with that shoe. You know what I'm saying?
There was a guy who wouldn't give it back to her, and she was like, "You can have his present. You can have it as a present after. Just like I need it back to perform this show."
I wouldn't give it back.
So-
I'd be
Imagine
out,
Jared with his hand up and the shoe in the crowd, just bolting to the door.
bro. Ain't no one getting that shoe from me. You messed up by giving it to me.
That's funny. It just kind of flew off.
Yeah, because
see
they do a
somebody
lot of like
whack.
standing splits and like high kick stuff.
So homie doesn't tie her shoes or what?
I don't know.
I mean,
what
I know
happened.
I don't tie my shoes a lot of the times, but if I'm going to a show, shoes are getting tied for that exact reason.
What do you mean?
I mean,
you don't tie
they're
your
also
shoes?
wearing like a Japanese girl's high school outfit, so like they're flats. They're not like
Oh,
they're not tieable shoes.
like Tom's, like little
Interesting.
slippers.
Yeah, not quite, but like closer to that than a sneaker for sure.
you're telling me every time you leave the house, you tie your shoes?
Yeah, for the most part.
If they're already tied and I can slide them on and it's still snug, it's not happening. But
That's old head behavior.
What do you mean?
Old head behavior, tying your shoes.
I am not going to be slandered for tying my shoes. What?
Only old heads tie their shoes. Let us know in the comments if you tie your shoes.
Bro, my dad used to dog on me for slipping my shoes on. He goes, "I pay good money for
Sam,
these shoes. You're ruining them."
my mom used to do that. She was like, "You're fucking up your shoes, you ungrateful little bitch."
What do you
Which-
mean by
they're
wearing
right.
them? By wearing them untied?
No, by not.
It's by
tying
slipping them on.
Oh, I just don't tie them.
What?
They just stay untied.
Aren't you gonna fall?
No,
What do you mean?
you just leave the laces loose so they are kind of nice and short. Yeah, you can look over there. They're not tied, and I didn't wear them here.
What
tied.
if you needed to like start running? You're not gonna get any stability.
We're getting killed, I guess. Like, I don't know. What do you think is when do I need to run in my day?
I don't know if you're going on a jog.
You're
Nah.
gonna run like the scumbag character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only reason I could see myself running is there's some sort of disaster, and if that disaster happens,
What's the disaster that you're?
we're getting drone striked. We're getting drone striked.
You're not running, brother.
Exactly. we're getting real drone striked for our beliefs here. I'm like, legalize anime titties, and they're like, no, and I'll get drone striked. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
We're exterminating the weebs.
Yeah, bro.
Oh no.
It's coming. They said like, 2024 is gonna get real. That's what they're talking about.
That's what the election's all about.
Yeah, it's about the weebs being exterminated.
I've been watching a lot of conspiracy content lately, and there's like a lot of that bullshit out there.
Like, if you watch anime, you might be on the chopping
not like
block.
anime specific, but just like like the machine elves are coming, and they want all the gingers. Like
The machine. What is a machine elf?
I don't know. So I keep on seeing these videos, and I can't be bothered to sit through like the long like introduction to the lore ones.
Okay.
But a lot of people are like, if you've ever listened to Joe Rogan, you know about the machine elves. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wait, I think I know what the machine elves are, but I'm pretty sure it's like
I think
on
it's a
their DMT
psychedelic
trips.
thing. Yeah, I think it's like a psychedelics thing. It's just these people are so strung out on psychs.
They're coming, bro. I mean, let's all be honest though. Like, gingers are on the way out.
I've also been diving back into the world of like Gail Cord Schuler and like her whole thing, which as far as I can tell, she's just like some schizophrenic lady who thinks that like her Jesus Christ and the guy who plays Data on Star Trek are like waging war against evil.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, and she talks about how they fly around in the Church of Gail. It's this big like spaceship, and she's the one destined to carry Jesus's semen into the next era or something.
You hear these people who are like on like a permanent acid trip. I assume like this is what happens.
Yeah, no, like she's literally like in this video I was watching, she's wearing like tinfoil on her head.
Yeah.
Like this woman is like fully detached from the reality we're living in.
Yeah, I assume it's just like
I'll show you guys after the pod.
The LSD got like stuck in her spine or whatever the fuck they say. And it's just like constantly feeding her brain.
I think she might just not be well, which kind of makes me feel bad for laughing at, but also she's been posting like daily vlogs for like decades.
I mean.
So it's kind of like, if it's out there, it's open territory, I feel like.
Yeah, if you're putting something on the internet that often and none of your family members, no one says, hey, let's not put
That's
out
the
this.
thing. If you're a family member, and
Come on, bro.
it's your responsibility.
Come on, at least be like, hey, man, I'm gonna do this for your safety, and I'm gonna delete your socials. All right, like,
yeah,
for your safety and all of our well-beings, no more social media for you. All right, that's enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I wish somebody would do that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, social medias oh my God.
It's getting to you.
Last night I was in the studio and I just finished writing like the top line and the guy was producing, so I let him keep working. And I started scrolling.
Oof.
And I just kept scrolling. And the moment I knew it was too much is when I saw a guy put his hand up to a camel's asshole and let the camel shit in his hand. I was like, all right, we're done. I can't do this anymore.
Every week on this podcast, we make fun of me for being on the wrong part of the internet, and you're watching like the camel hand shitting content.
I don't want it. It just
It knows.
shows
It knows you
How
want
am
it.
I the one who's like too online right now?
The internet knows what you want, Grady, whether you like it or not.
The truth is, I did laugh.
You watched it and you felt something. You're like, this is what I need.
Good one.
I had
That's a good shit.
I had a really fucked up moment a couple nights ago. Like I'm going through a breakup and I was just sitting there like numb in bed, like crying on my phone, scrolling TikTok, just doom scrolling. And then I saw this like stupid meme video about the stupid meme cat NecoArc, and I was like, oh, this is the only thing that's made me feel a human emotion all day.
Damn.
And I was like, what does this say about me? The funny little cat is the only thing that can like make me feel.
No, that's real though. There's certain YouTubers who, when I feel nothing, I can put them on and I'll be like, home.
Yeah.
This is like a poor edit of an AI singing a song about a fat dog.
Okay, yeah.
Sounds like a banger video.
It is a banger video.
I mean,
a heater video, and the song's really pretty. Like I feel like if it wasn't being sung by AI Neko Arc, it would be beautiful.
True.
But it was being sung by AI Neko Arc, and I was sitting there crying even harder.
Damn. Neko Arc.
I've kind of lost all trust for any like video or audio on the internet because of AI.
AI's, yeah, man. It's getting scary realistic.
Burn it down. Get it out of here.
I mean, it's kind of a fun little tool, but as long as I think people are aware, like, trust nothing.
Yeah, you've seen those things where like scammers will somehow like make, like it'll be like they'll make a AI voice of me somehow, through this podcast. And then the AI voice will call my mom and be like, I'm fucking dying if you don't send $2,000 to these people. And it sounds real enough because it's AI. And you've heard the AI. It sounds fucking real. Imagine, and it's going through a phone call, so obviously you can't like
panicking.
You're fucking panicking. Like imagine like, I don't know, one of your siblings called you right now and it just said, unidentified caller, you answer it for the first time ever. And you're like, whatever. You hear your fucking brother on the other line being like, bro, I messed up. You got to send the money. And you're just like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting sketchy out there. So
they
be
have
safe.
to like know how you talk a little bit, but
but it's like a computer learning system.
Yeah.
It's learning how you talk by the input that is given. So actually, to
no,
be honest,
but I'm talking about like if they're sitting there typing, like they have to like understand like a little bit about how you speak.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I did see one that was Wes Anderson, and they made him say like, I'm Wes fucking Anderson. You don't think I can fuck your mom? We're getting the perfect lighting today.
Damn.
You think Wes would say that?
Probably, yeah.
How do we feel about Wes Anderson here?
I don't know enough. So I actually have seen a couple movies, and I've been like, that was a trip.
Is he the I always get him confused with other guys. Is he the guy who directed Drive, or is he the guy who did like Rushmore and Grand Budapest Hotel?
He did Grand Budapest. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like Wes.
The only one I've seen is, or that I can think that I've seen is his most recent one. It's like
Asteroid City.
Yep.
I didn't see it yet. It's kind of on my list.
It's a weird trip. Like
I saw it and I was like, oh, Wes Anderson movie that got like a 68 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm good.
That's fair.
I haven't seen any of these movies, I'm realizing.
Yeah.
We should watch Grand Budapest Hotel sometime.
Uh,
That's a good one.
I'm down. I
Yeah.
heard it's good.
Yeah,
the hotel?
It's fun. Yeah, it's like about a hotel. It does this really cool thing where the movie takes place over like a couple of different time periods, and they like crop the frame to different aspect ratios depending on what was like
you've told me
current at
about
the
this.
time.
Yes.
Like I don't know, there's a bunch of other like cool visual things that's going on in it, and it all just like clicks with Wes Anderson's style in a unique, cool way. Because I mean, Wes Anderson is one of those directors where you look at one of his movies and it's like like that's a Wes Anderson movie.
And we're back.
And we're back. Welcome back from our ad break. Blue Chew.
No, cock.
The cock enlarger, bro. Who's wearing the cock sleeve, huh?
The cock sleeve is crazy.
For reference, before this podcast started, I was on AliExpress because they pulled me in with their images. They pulled me in with the crazy. There was a bass that was like a 17-string bass, and I had to click on it. I was like, what is this?
17.
It's like fucking this wide, And in the fucking suggested products, there's the cock enlargement oil, and it's just a picture of some dude's shaft because they can't show the tip, I guess, online, but they can show the whole shaft.
There's like a railroad crossing.
How many
sign on the
inches are we
tip.
talking?
Bro, it was like
a cock.
it was like insanely large. And I was like, all right, and then obviously had to click on it. So then we're going down this rabbit hole of cock enlargement oil, cock sleeves you can just put on just to be like, I'm not going to enjoy the sex, but at least I'll have like a bigger cock.
At least I'll have a 13-inch Punisher to give her.
Yeah, bro.
Like a cock that wouldn't even be like fun to take.
Exactly. It was like insanely large. I'm like, why would you even... Who's going to be like, oh yeah, hell yeah. Homie's got a massive one.
I'll be real, you get above like 6.5 inches and it's like just enough.
Yeah,
That's enough out of you.
that's what I hear.
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, if we're going to do this, it's going to have to go in the ass. And like that's...
Oh,
Wait, it gets too big and you're like, all right, ass time.
Yeah.
well, I guess your ass is longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can like theoretically take more up there.
Fair.
It's like deeper.
But I feel like it would hurt more. So
yeah, unless you're like stretching shit out and like, you know, like
and
constantly on the anal preparation game, which like I'm not, but like I know some girls are on that grind. So
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like pooping would be
Yeah, I was about to say the poop
crazy.
just falls out.
and that's why it's always scared me. I'm like, damn, like
What if
you walk around plugged up all the time? Like there's eventually like there's got to be some retribution there in the end, right?
Yeah, well, you know, it's gonna be like, isn't it like that? That's like with old people, you know, they lose their fucking the muscles in their ass and they just shit.
Is that what happens?
Isn't it? It's, I think similar. I think it'll just happen faster. Your ass is gonna be like worn out quicker. It's not gonna be as tight anymore, and you're gonna be like 35 at the office, and you're like, ooh, I just shit myself.
I was on a
I just shit myself at the office.
Y'all ever just shit yourselves just to like feel alive?
No. Tell me more about this situation though here.
I don't know. I just thought that'd be a funny thing to ask. I've never done that.
I was
I
on
don't
a
believe
family
you.
Trip.
I was like, you know what? This might be the type of thing where Grady will have a story.
He does have
I
a
have
story.
shit myself, but like not to feel something,
Not to feel alive.
not to like
Not to,
wake
like,
up.
Yeah.
I was dragged on like a family trip with one of my friends, and we drove up Pikes Peak, which is a big mountain
Oh
in the
yeah.
area.
Oh yeah.
And his grandparents were with us. Grandpa just came back like recovering from colon cancer.
Oh no.
So poop is kind of out of his control.
Oof.
It's like so we were in the car. It's like an hour and a half to get to the top, and about 35 minutes in, you're like stuck in traffic. The car smells weird.
You're like, oh, homie
Oh
shit himself.
no.
I, a child, am like, huh, who fucking farted? And then Grandpa was like, gives me the spiel.
Hey,
Oh.
No.
he's all, listen, Grady, I shit my pants.
Let me tell you, I've never been sobered quicker.
Oh no.
I felt so bad. And then the rest of the car ride was silent and smelly.
Oh,
We get to the top, and they just beeline to the restroom, and me and my friend just quietly sit in the corner and act like nothing happened.
your friend's like, this is why we can't take you anywhere.
Yeah.
Damn.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
So I haven't pooped myself to feel something, but I've been in the room when somebody doesn't feel anything and poops themselves.
Oh, interesting.
Damn.
Interesting.
Damn. It sucks when you like can't control going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, guys, I have another story. Can I air this out? I've never told anybody.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Last year,
Yeah.
I was flying back from Colorado.
Okay.
I had like 3 separate drinks on the plane, and I drank them on my way up.
Like alcoholic drinks?
No, like one was like a green juice.
Okay.
One was like a really large Evian water because I was dehydrated,
All right.
and then it would have been like a protein shake probably.
Okay.
I drank all 3 on the flight
Ah.
and didn't have to pee the whole flight until right as like the lock sign goes on
Oh, fuck.
at the end when you still have like 30 minutes before you even land.
Yeah.
We land, we're stuck on the tarmac in Vegas, and I'm stuck on the plane for like an hour. Oh no. So right as they open the door, I try to beeline my way out. I'm like, I really got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piss myself.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
And this guy kind of like cuts me off and thinks I'm just trying to cut everybody. I'm like, no, dude, this is an emergency. Please leave. Like I'm at the point where like the piss isn't like halfway up my cock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
You're like,
squeezing with all
bro,
my
I'm going
might.
to pee on you. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Right as I'm about to step outside of the plane, I am uncontrollably pissing at age 22 in the Las Vegas airport. And I'm running to the bathroom, dribbling everywhere.
no fucking way.
I couldn't stop it. It was,
No fucking way. What happened, bro?
I hid in the bathroom for at least 30 minutes because I had like a 2-hour layover, and I just
Yeah.
sat in the stall. I was like, I can't believe I fucking did this. What? I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm cleaning myself up. I'm trying to make sure I don't smell like pee for my next flight.
Yeah.
Did you have like clothes you could change into or?
Yeah, it was like a
Okay.
a trip. It was a
So you're
trip.
safe at least. You didn't have to wear piss-ridden pants out.
It's not like you had all your clothes like in the hold in another bag.
No. Oh yeah. So I pissed myself, and I remember like the walk of shame, walking past that terminal, trying to keep my head down so nobody sees me.
So you think people saw?
Oh, people saw.
No
bro.
ways.
Some 6'5" dude running past you with just like the biggest sweat mark and dribble coming behind. Bro, there was a United worker who had to clean that shit up, and every day I thank that person.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I was too scared to go back to help.
I mean, I would have too.
Yeah,
I would have been like,
no
I
way.
can't handle the embarrassment. Like, I would love to do it and like clean it, but like, I can't handle.
I would have been like dyeing my hair in the bathroom and like changing my appearance as much as possible.
Grabbing
Yeah.
a razor and shaving.
I'd been
all
like,
off.
it's time to
Yeah.
disappear. Damn, dude, did that fucking idiot who cut you off feel like a cock or what?
Oh, I hope he did. Actually, I ended up seeing him when I did the walk of shame past the terminal again, and just kind of fucking
Yeah.
stared at him.
Yeah.
So I
Do
hope
you
he
think
knows.
that it would have made the difference?
It actually would have, because one, I would have been less stressed, and I could have realized there's a fucking bathroom at the front of the plane, and I didn't have to run all the way into the airport.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
First mistake. But yeah, I think it would have made a difference. I was
So
so
what? You were just in the back, and this guy was like, "You're cutting me,
yeah.
fucking child, bro.
I
Who
said,
fucking
like,
cares?
It's a medical issue. He was like, he just gave me one of those looks.
You fucking serious, dude? Some people in their fucking planes, bro.
Yeah.
They start acting like children, dude. That's half the time why I just get on last, anyways.
Yeah.
I get on last and leave last half the time because I'm like, I don't want to fucking fight with Karen over here who's still living out her first grade era where it matters who's first in line, I guess.
Yeah.
Fucking, bro, like for shit like that where you need to get off the plane, like let them. Holy
Yeah.
fuck, bro. Someone obviously needs to get off the plane. Like, and you waiting another 10 seconds is going to be that much of an issue, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck people like that, dude.
It's like wild too. Like this is a little bit of a sidebar at this point, but I took a flight recently, and Will.i.am was on the flight.
Yeah.
And you know, I talked to him briefly. Will.i.am, friend of the pod, lovely guy.
Nice.
But we were getting off the plane, and he was like at the front, and they like a bunch of people stand in the way that everybody else normally gets off, and they let him off the side of the ramp into like a private, like he goes down the stairs. There's someone there taking all of his bags. And he just walks down onto the tarmac, gets in the car, and drives away.
Is Will like that?
Yeah, he's like that, dog.
No way. So they like opened up the like fire escape or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it was for him.
Yeah, so it's like the standard door.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know how you have like the ramp going from the plane to the
Yeah.
airport? They just like opened the side door and we're like, you can go.
Damn.
So homie just like walked out and got in his car and left.
You'd think if he's doing that, he'd just take like a PJ. Like he's just got.
Oh no,
his
but he
own-
cares about the environment. He's a W, maybe.
All right. Yeah, that's
Maybe
fair.
I'm just making assumptions, but anyone taking a PJ, you're kind of a shitter, honestly. So fucking horrendous for the
I feel like
environment.
if you're not a politician who's like genuinely worried about being assassinated, there's probably not a good reason to take a PJ.
This coffee has me jacked right now.
Yeah, dude, the blue bottle cafe au lait are like, it feels like 3 cups sometimes.
Damn.
They make
Yes.
me panic sometimes. Like
These
I just
fucking
like
shits?
start drinking. Yeah, I just start drinking them and I'm like,
Oh, bro, yeah.
yeah, I
remember
like bug out.
I had like half of that thing one of these nights, and I was like,
There used to be days where I'd have like 2 or 3 of those, and like I don't know how I function.
yeah, bro. Like, I'd feel like I'm off the drugs, bro.
Yeah, like I've tried to cut back on them recently.
You know, there's the girl dinner, they say.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw one that was like musicians dinner, and it's like a large coffee and a cigarette. That was it.
Dude, give me a ciggy right now.
And Mac. You forgot about the Mac, bro.
And Mac. Actually, Mac is 100% on the list.
Yeah, mac and cheese boxed. That's musician's dinner numero uno.
Anyone trying to make some mac after we record this? I got a box.
Oh, shit.
I'm in.
I think there might even be an extra box in the back from a Whole Foods trip a while ago.
Yeah, you don't gotta ask me twice about Mac, bro. Hey, favorite Mac and why?
Oof.
Go.
You know, I'm going to be basic as shit.
Go.
Kraft mac and cheese. I've just perfected the recipe, and it's cheap and it's quick.
You did not
and
just
it's-
tell me Kraft, bro.
It's like nostalgia.
Kraft
for
is
me.
the biggest shitter mac and cheese you can buy, bro.
I like the Annie's that we usually get. That's like what I
Yeah.
grew up with having too. So it's like probably also a little bit nostalgia, but I just feel like it's like a classic.
Where are my pasta-roni lovers at, huh?
What is pastaroni?
I don't. It's like the box and it's got like the bridge on it.
Never
Sounds like
heard of
hamburger
this.
helper of mac and cheese.
No,
Yeah.
you can get like box mac though. You can get white shells and cheddar pastaroni, and it's fuck.
Pasta roll.
Why is it called pastaroni? Is there pepperoni in it?
Fuck if I know. Who do I look like? A fucking marketing brand for them? Maybe it's not even called pastaroni. It's Let's look it up.
Rigatoni.
No, that's rigatoni. And is it
Rigatoni is pretty fire.
That's just a type of shell.
pasta.
Here, let's see.
I'm Italian.
I gotta know.
Also, Italian is like such a fake ethnicity.
Are we officially like as a pod taking the stance Italians shouldn't have rights?
No, because
Because I'm taking that. No.
Yeah,
my grandma's gonna hear this and be
pastaroni.
like, "Hey, what the fuck?" It is pastaroni.
Pastaroni, white shells, and cheddar, bro.
I've never heard of this.
Me either.
It's like a box mac and cheese.
Is this like a regional thing?
No, it's everywhere. It's at Target.
No,
Ralph's.
but like you can still get stuff that's regional.
Jared's just on that underground shit.
It's not even underground, bro. This
Like
is
I don't
they
see
have
like
this.
like I don't see Poland Springs out here in LA.
Poland.
But
I
like
took a walk.
see, y'all don't even know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
Probably it's like
Poland.
it's like the bottled water brand on the East Coast.
Oh, it's like Arrowhead in Colorado.
I've never heard of that.
It's
Is that
it's the Nestle, bro. Oh, speaking about Nestle, fuck that company.
Nestle, you
Or-
mean?
Yeah, fuck them, bro. They can get the hands.
Dude, I don't
Speak to
know.
that.
Nesquik's pretty fire.
Oh,
Yeah, but they're like enslaving people. That company sucks.
but a good chalky milk.
Are they? Are they fucked up?
Yeah, they're like a known pretty shitty brand.
Oh,
But like you
damn.
can't escape them because they make like
They make
so
like
much.
everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like the kings of just like enslaving
I'll be real.
workers.
Nespresso's better than fucking Keurig.
What is it?
Nespresso.
Is that a
It's like their Nesquik like Keurig thing.
Nespresso?
Yeah. You see it more like I feel like in Europe and other places than you do here.
I notice it at
interesting.
like hotels when they
Yeah,
have the packets.
yeah.
It's just cheaper than a
Okay.
real Keurig.
No,
But it
it's like
tastes
better. Yeah.
I've actually never even tried any of these things. I remember the Keurig when it was coming on the come up, and everyone was all hype about it.
Yeah.
I always wanted to try it, but my family was like, Keurig, that's some liberal shit. Not actually. I think my parents are liberals, but
I love this bit that we have running that Jared's parents are just crazy conservatives.
just not
Jared's
true.
Jared's parents are like the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know
just very
why.
genuinely lovely folks.
I don't know why we never like got into that sort of thing.
Did y'all ever have the Grimace Shake?
No,
No.
I was
It was
too poor.
not good, not great.
What flavor was it?
They were trying to do like a fruity cereal type thing. If it tasted
Oh.
like
Did it taste like Count Chocula?
no, it tasted like it was sickeningly sweet.
Like Blueberry Crunch?
Yeah, like a
Oh,
little
yeah.
closer to that. Like in that.
Where my Blueberry Crunch lovers at?
I don't know what it is, but fake fruit flavoring
Ass.
is just tragic.
It's pretty ass, except if it's in Captain Crunch, then they're doing it
See,
right.
sometimes you get it
Yeah.
and it's like okay, this is like tasty, but it's not. It's never convincing.
I don't understand also.
Sometimes it's like kind of tasty. The Grimace Shake was like sickeningly sweet.
Ugh. Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think they putting in it, huh? And what do you think? You know, they got Grimace back there. You know, they're like, they've got him on
They're
like the
milking
grind.
Grimace.
Yeah,
they're
they're like,
just like stroking his cock.
yeah,
into
they're like
the-
sitting there, just like, you give us more of that juice, and he's like, no, please.
They're sitting there just stroking him off into it. And
Yeah,
it's
he's
just
like-
Grimace cum.
He's
It's
hooked-
actually
he's
an
hooked up.
espresso machine where they shave his pubes and run it like an espresso machine.
Ah.
Damn, that's like nasty. If it was Grimace cum, I'd still be like, you know what? That's like kind of it. But the Grimace pubes, that's a bridge too far, Grady.
He's hooked up to like the milking machine, you know?
It's like the fetish thing where you see like the femboys in cow outfits, like at
Yeah.
the milking machine.
That's what it was.
It's
Or,
like
you know, in Monsters Inc., the guy with the sucky tube on his
Oh
mouth.
yeah. That's Grimace in the back. That's Grimace in the back, bro, and that's how we got our shake. Oh,
Unironically, I thought that scene was hot when I was a kid.
wait,
what? Why, bro? What are you into?
Grady, are you into milking?
Not milking, no.
Grady's just into getting
It's too much.
sucked.
I like the power dynamic.
Grady was like, "Oh, don't hook me up to a spooky machine. don't like steal my soul, shorty. Come on."
Yeah, I don't know. The power dynamic's exciting.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand a good power dynamic thing.
That's fucking hilarious. I can
Yeah.
just imagine you as like an 8-year-old watching that, and you're like feeling something for the first time.
Even though they were
Wait, was
literally
that your sexual
torturing him.
awakening?
Yeah.
Was that like the first time you were ever like, this makes me horny?
Not the first time, but it's one of the first few.
Like Grady's,
Yeah.
you like were watching it and your parents were like, "Oh, Grady's like scared. This scene's scaring him," you know. But like you're secretly over there, just like,
Rock hard.
you know, just bricked. And they're like, "Oh, Grady's acting a little different. Maybe it's scaring him." No, homie's fucking bricked.
Jared, do you have like a distinct sexual awakening memory?
Absolutely. You guys know the girl from Danny Phantom?
Oh fuck!
Fair.
Shorty, my little man.
You knew from the top you liked your goth girl.
Oh, absolutely.
Your
Dude,
emo
Shorty
girl.
was my little baddie, bro. And she over here. She was my little fucking baddie. I also just wanted to be Danny Phantom as well. That fool was sick as fuck. You just turn into a ghost. That's awesome.
But he was like a normal kid, you know.
True.
For me, it was Haley Williams from Paramore,
Oh yeah.
and
Shorty
and
also my
also
little
kind of
baddie.
Kim Possible, but
Oh yeah.
mainly Haley Williams from Paramore.
You had a type. They're like the same person but different.
Yeah, no, I definitely have a type.
Bro,
I still do. It's like emo girls where I'm like, oh, if you like stepped on my throat, that would be like kind of cool, actually.
you know, when I saw fucking, who's that? Avril Lavigne. I got like, also, that was like a jump scare concert, bro. I didn't even know she was going to be there. I was there at a show, and all of a sudden she came out on stage as the opener, and I was like, well, what the fuck's going on here? You know what I'm saying? This is sick.
Yeah.
This is better than the fucking headliner, by far.
Who was
Shorty,
the
my
headliner?
little baddie. You know what I'm talking about? She still got it after all these
She
years.
still got it.
Who was the headliner that she was better than?
I went to MGK with Tommy just because
Okay,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Tommy and Kush were like, you want to go to this? And I was like, yeah, why not? You know,
Kush going to an MGK concert
so
is
funny,
crazy.
dude.
Scares
And Kush
me.
was sitting there like this the whole time, just
I understand. I mean, to be fair, that's probably how I'd be sitting there too. But
I enjoyed it to an extent, but it was a little too like he was like trying to do like the rock star thing, and I was like, oh, that's fucking cringe.
he kind of creeps me out a little bit.
He's
MGK.
he can be pretty cringe. Where I'm just
It's
like,
just like him singing about high school girls as a guy in his like mid-30s, and it's like,
well, no, that's like half of emo bands. You can't
Yeah.
like that's Blink 182. That's
Blink-182
know,
is
but, like,
still
it's-
writing songs and they still have the same sentiment. for the most
yeah,
part.
that's
I know, and it's
that's-
embarrassing when they do it too.
I don't know. It's more of just like you can't get after them for that. You know what I'm saying? It's weird if they like expressly like say like age. You know,
I think it's mainly weird to me just because some of the music videos where it's like, oh, this is like clearly meant to be like a high school girl like hanging out with MGK.
they're marketing these towards high schoolers. Like that's why they're doing it like that. Like
I know, but
they
it's
want it
like,
to be
it's
relatable
still, like,
towards high schoolers.
It's still like him sexualizing like that demographic in a way that's like a little bit uncomfortable.
I don't think he's sexualized to that, but I see what you're saying. All I'm saying is like his marketing team is probably telling him to do this. It's probably not even him too much. It's
Sure.
probably like his marketing team being like, oh, your demographic is 12 to 17-year-old kids. If MGK is over here falling in love with a 30-year-old woman, it's not going to be relatable at all to these kids. They're gonna be like,
He's
Shorty
actually
and-
falling in love with someone who's like 45, which
yeah,
is interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like if that was actually like the music video, none of the kids who are actually fans of him would be able to relate. So it'd be kind of a weird disconnect from his fan base.
Yeah.
And what you're telling me
I
when
mean, I
you
don't
were
think it makes him evil. I just think it makes him a little creepy.
a little
Fair.
bit.
I think it's just a little uncomfortable.
I mean, but also when you were 12 to 17, you're telling me you didn't listen to any bands that weren't doing certain.
No, when I was 12
Similar.
to 17, I listened to the Talking Heads, LCD Sound System,
Yeah, this is so on brand.
Grateful Dead.
True.
What else? Like,
So you listen to old head music,
I guess kind of.
kind of old head
This
music.
I mean,
is old head
LCD
music.
Sound System
This
wasn't
is-
like
this
old head
is-
music at the time.
That's
They were
like
like pretty
old.
trendy.
Yeah.
It's pretty old head
but-
music though.
I mean, like retrospect, like yeah, it's like older bands.
Yeah, which is not a bad.
And then
thing.
I listened to I guess I also listened to like a lot of like Run the Jewels in that time period, but that's also like kind of old head hip hop.
You didn't listen to any Green Day growing up?
I listened to Green Day growing up.
It's a very similar thing. I feel like.
Wait, Weezer's a similar thing too.
Yeah, Weezer's very similar as well.
Yeah, but like Weezer, when they were writing lyrics like that, they were like in college. It's like there's differences like, oh, you're like 19 and you're like
I don't.
doing that, then like you're like a 35-year-old dude.
I just hard disagree.
Sure.
Like I don't know. Like what do you want when you're 35? You're not allowed to make young music anymore
No, I don't think that's.
because I just don't think there
It's
should
just
be
not young sexual music.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's
maybe
like-
not. Well, maybe
yeah.
just don't say like I want the high school shorty. Maybe just say I want the shorty at the club. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what movie was my favorite growing up is Cars. badass movie, bro. I was like,
such a
We,
I was like,
we rewatched
homie.
that recently.
did we? Oh, we
Couple
watched
months
Cars.
back, yeah.
Yeah, we watched Cars 3. I don't remember why we did, but
No, we watched the original.
did we?
Yeah.
Without me?
I think me and Tess did just watch them.
Tragic.
We watched the first and the third one. We didn't go through
skipped the
the
second one.
we
You
didn't
skipped
go
the
through the whole.
I wasn't there for the
spy.
third. I was just there for the part of most of the first one.
Was it me and I think me and Aaron?
You and
were
Aaron
watching
were
it.
watching them, and one time I was just there.
It's true.
We were like about to eat, and you were like, "You cool with watching some cars?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it."
Fucking sick movies, bro.
Yeah."
It's so funny how it goes though. It goes first movie's about racing. Second movie, we're spies, bro. We're fucking spy man, and then third movie racing again.
Yeah.
Whoever was the creative director for the second movie, like, what are they on?
I don't know. I think it worked though. Like I think kids at the time, Cars 1 was great for me. It came out at the time when I was a kid, and it was one of my favorites.
Of course.
And Cars 2 came out at my brother's age, and it was like I don't know, the craziness of the spy theme. Like he loved it. Like I think what they did worked
Interesting.
for them.
It was so
Yeah.
weird. I remember like being like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah.
I remember seeing the first one, and then by the time the second one came out, I was like a little bit old for it.
Sure.
My father had like hardcore switched me over to like pretty adult movies.
True.
Like I hit like 12 or 13. He was like, "We're watching The Godfather, we're watching Jaws, and this is your life now."
Jaws.
Crazy.
Jaws being considered like an adult movie is kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah,
It feels more like a kid movie to me now that I go back and look at it.
I think it's like a rock solid PG-13 movie.
It's like it's
Like-
like for the 13-year-olds for sure.
It's like I think there's like enough messaging there it can hold an adult's attention, but I don't think it's like inherently adult.
You think?
Yeah, because there's like this whole thing about like kind of the political failings of this small town and the ineffectualness of like local government,
I did not
like
get
running as
such-
like a meta narrative throughout it.
I did not get such things when I watched Jaws. I was just like, "Oh, sharks, scary."
Yeah, because I mean the whole reason that they have to go out and hunt it is because the mayor won't shut down the beach because it's like
I
a
see.
tourism weekend.
Yeah, okay.
And there's kind of whole thread of like just kind of like the government being ineffectual in protecting people, and like the demonization of this animal rather than like doing something responsible.
Yeah.
Parents were in the theater just arm crossed, like, yeah, he was wrong.
I mean, like the original book kind of dives into some of that stuff more.
So,
Ah.
Yeah,
book,
it's based
huh?
on a book. Yeah, the Jaws book is actually really interesting, and the sort of the author has said some really interesting things because he regrets writing it.
yeah.
Because he like thinks he didn't want like people to be scared of the shark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and
but
like
that's
that
huge
book
now.
has been used to like demonize sharks, and like people will kill these animals now.
Yeah, well, he did a really bad not demonizing it, bro.
Well, I mean, I
Like,
think,
he did
I
a
think-
really poor job not demonizing this shark, bro.
I don't think it really is. I think it's more on Spielberg, right? But
Okay, like, whoever, yeah, the movie, I guess
I
I've
think
only
it's
seen
more
the movie, but
than the book. But
the movie's crazy. Like, they make it seem like the shark is fucking, like, hunting them, which
The
fucking
scene
wild.
When, like the mouth is
Yeah.
open at the bottom of the boat is
Yeah.
just terrifying.
yeah, I mean, I think it's like Jaws is also like forever going to be remembered in that way, just because it was like kind of the original summer blockbuster.
True.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and now we have Oppenheimer.
Heater.
No, Barbenheimer. It's not just a
Dude,
one
did
thing.
you see they announced Barbenheimer now?
What do you mean?
They're making Barbenheimer like the movie.
What?
They're making a Barbenheimer
It's
movie.
like a
yeah.
parody.
What is that
It's like a
mean?
parody, though.
It's like a parody thing.
Like
it's like-
Nuketown
it's like when-
with Barbies or what?
I guess like Barbie's gonna make the atomic bomb is probably what happens in it, but like we don't really know. They only revealed like a tagline, and I forget what it was, but it was something stupid.
It was, he's got the A bombs and she's got the C cups or something like
yeah,
that.
or it was like A bombs and D cups or
something along
stupid
that.
like that.
Yeah, something like ridiculous. It's obviously like a joke movie, and we'll get.
It's gonna be like a Sharknado situation.
Yeah.
it's not
Who's
like
they, by the way? Is that it's like Warner producing this?
it's not like Warner, but like it's getting produced by like
A24 picks it up.
no, it's not A24. It's like it's probably some Sharknado tier label, right? Where it's like
Sure.
they can put something out to an audience and like people are gonna know about it, but it's like probably not getting a widespread theatrical run.
Sure.
Is my guess.
Yeah.
Sharknado was such a shitter.
Unlike the Sharknado
This is
sucked.
such a dumb.
The
Such a shitter movie, bro.
the trend of making like intentionally bad horror movies is so embarrassing.
It's whack because it's just like, yeah, that movie was something different in being like, oh, we tried to make a movie and then it's bad because it's kind of funny. But then when they're like, oh, we're intentionally making it bad so it's funny, it's like, okay, that's fucking...
Also, I kind of call bullshit. Like, it's like you don't control how good the song is sometimes.
Yeah.
And for it to be bad and be like, oh, I did this on purpose. It's kind
Well,
of
no, but I think with
bummer.
Sharknado, they did set out to do that. Where they were like, we want this movie to be like comically bad.
Yeah.
And you can see it's like, oh, we hired like porn tier actors and we wrote them a script that doesn't flow naturally. That
Such
like
a
they have
bummer.
no hope of like actually deliver. Like even if they were great actors, there's no way they could deliver it in a way that feels human.
No.
And
Just
like,
pigeonholing people their whole careers because
yeah,
you're
like
making a funny
it's a
bit.
movie that's like intentionally designed for failure
Yeah.
and like marketed on said failure.
Damn.
And like I mean, like we've seen a whole bunch of those. Like Thanksgiving's another one.
Would
the
Cocaine
Thanksgiving
Bear
one.
fall in this tier though?
Cocaine Bear's weird because like it was like kind of a major studio movie.
Yeah.
But also like it had like so many of the tropes of those
Yeah.
films.
Exactly.
Cocaine Bear's. Have you seen it?
I've heard it's a heater, but I haven't seen it.
It's also Cocaine Bear's also weird because they have like a good chunk of that movie dedicated to like trying to actually like tell a story about like
A cocaine bear.
people and like the people who are like the drug dealers who were there in the woods with the bear.
Oh, I see. They were like, cocaine bear had a really tough life growing
They
up.
do a little bit of that, but like it's weird because some of it feels like so narratively sincere. And I guess like it's because it's based on a true story, but it's like they'll have that and then they'll have a scene where the bear does cocaine and dances.
So does he?
And it's
he
like you
snorts lines.
No, I don't know if I would say lines, but like, you know, he tears open the cocaine or she tears open the cocaine thing and like stuffs her snout in it and like,
Damn. What?
and then starts like dancing.
It's like a sad thing because, you know,
It's a true story. Like it
that's what I was about to
happened.
say. I was like, animals do get drugged all the time, and it just ruins the animal's life.
Yeah, I mean, Cocaine Bear was like a true story. Like there's a bear that got on a bunch of cocaine and got like hella aggressive.
Yeah, when doubt.
And like, I don't know. The whole thing was very weird tonally. It's not a good movie, but it's like not awful either. I think I gave it like a 1 or 2 on Letterboxd.
Damn, your letterbox. I think we need to rethink.
Why?
You're so hard on these poor movies. You'll be like, I liked that movie too. Like what? That's
I mean,
like the fail. It's a 40%.
2.5 is like that was a good movie. That was all right. That was okay. 3 is like I like that pretty heavy. 4 is like, yeah, that was a rock solid movie. You know, a lot to think about there. And the 5 stars is like just the heaters.
It's so funny how you rate these movies. I just think about movies so differently. I'm either just like, yeah, that was good, and then like if it's a good one, that's like a 4-star for me. You know, it's got to, and then like everything else kind of goes. Like 3 would be like a movie I disliked, you know, for sure.
See, I think there's also my letterbox is a bit weird because there's movies that like I think are like high quality versus low quality, and movies that I like and don't like, and those things aren't always in line, right? Like,
Yeah.
like the movie Nymphomaniac is like an incredibly well shot movie with incredible shot composition. I hate every minute of it,
Okay,
and I would give it a 1 star in terms of like my enjoyment, but like I can't really take away like the artistic achievement and like how it was directed and everything.
interesting.
Like I don't know, the whole idea of like quality and is something like kind of well made and well thought out and well written, and my enjoyment aren't always in line.
So what did you rate Pope's Exorcist?
I think I gave Pope's Exorcist a 4 stars.
How did it not get the 5? Come on, that one was the best movie of all
To
year.
be clear, I don't give many things 5s.
What have you given it a 5?
Let's pull out where's my phone? There it is. Yeah, we can.
I'm
go through and-
gonna guess. Ready for these guesses? It's gonna be W guesses. Freddie got fingered on 5.
It definitely has
on
a
the 5. I've never even seen it, but know it. I bet Mulholland Drive is on the 5.
Yep.
What's another test movie? What's another? I bet that hotel movie, Budapest 5.
I don't think it. I think that was before I was using Letterboxd, so I don't think that has a rating on here. I'd probably give that like a 4.5 or 4.
Interesting. And then Five Nights at Freddy's,
Obviously.
obviously a 5. That one part where they built the fort doesn't get much better than that. Cinematic masterpiece, bro. All right, what we got, Tess?
So my 5 stars on here are Spirited Away, which we just saw,
No way.
Scream, Mulholland Drive, Princess Mononoke,
Yeah.
Drive My Car, End of Evangelion, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, Tampopo, Millennium Actress, F for Fake, Freddy Got Fingered.
F for Fake, huh?
Yeah.
I disliked
I would
that
probably
movie.
give that a 4.5, honestly, if I'm like
okay.
reevaluating it. Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, the Kizumonogatari trilogy. Yeah, those are the only things I have 5s on here. There's other movies I would give 5s though.
Interesting.
Like Sans Soleil, I would give a 5. I'd probably give. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's some other stuff I'd give 5s that like I just don't have on here.
I find it interesting that you give Spirited Away a 5. Tell me, like, to be fair, I enjoyed the movie, but would I give it, like, it sounds like your 5 is like this, like, it's got to be like some sort of fucking really good movie. I don't know if, at least when I watched it, I wouldn't give it some sort of like.
I think part of that might be like my nostalgia for it.
Okay.
I also just think it is like visually like a very well like composed, directed movie. Like
it looked so good.
I think it's like one of those things where like when you think about like who the target demographic for that movie is, it's like what more could it have done?
For me, when I was watching it, I think it could have like cut down runtime a bit, especially for your younger audience, like 2.5 hours or something. You know,
it was like 2 hours and 7 minutes. I think.
Might be a different culture in Japan because I assume that's like the targeted audience is like kids in Japan, right?
Yeah, but originally,
maybe they have like a longer sense of.
I mean, this was also like the 2001, so it would have been like movies were just ran a bit longer back then.
Well, no, because like I don't know, we got Monsters Inc. and movies around that time. Toy Story coming out, those are only like hour-and-a-half movies, you know.
I think Monsters Inc. is like almost 2 hours.
No way. You think?
I don't know.
No, it's 92 minutes actually.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a short one, bro. The suck happens and they leave. Grady gets horny and he leaves. All right.
Yep.
Grady's like, oh, Randall. That's the next.
Randall.
That's the next Grady cosplay in the bedroom. He's like, all right, listen, this might sound weird.
I need you to have 7 legs.
I need you to be Randall for me real quick.
Yeah, you know what? With Spirited Away, I'll also say this. There's other Ghibli movies on that list that have 5 stars that I like more.
Okay.
Like, I think Princess Mononoke is a much more, like, substantial movie. But Princess Mononoke also, like, is clearly written for an older audience.
Yeah.
Like...
And honestly, that Spirited Away was the first anime I've seen where I've enjoyed it. Where it's, like, written for a younger audience. Like...
Yeah.
Like, I've seen what's that movie? It's a show, My Hero Academia. You seen that one? It feels like it's written for kids, and I was like, this sucks. You know what I'm saying? But like that movie was like, oh, this is like obviously written for kids, but it's like an enjoyable written for kids, you know?
Yeah, I think that it's got like a really strong emotional core, and like the kind of messaging of it is like really easy to get behind, and it's not presented in a way that's like I don't know. I watch Boku no Hero Academia, My Hero Academia, and I get like kind of embarrassed.
It's so bad.
It's like
My
feel
Hero
like,
Academia
like,
lovers out there, bro, you guys smell.
Yeah, it's like
like you gotta I don't understand how you fucking watch that
like
show.
I feel a little embarrassed watching it, which is like no hate to people who like it, but I'm like, oh, this is like
hating. I'm hating on the people who like it.
It feels like really childish, where it's like not Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away like has like messages I think like an adult can still kind of like resonate with about like the importance of like family and like like believing in your own agency and things and like
and child labor.
Yeah. I also just think like conceptually and like visually is like so much more unique than something like My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, the world it creates is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Ponyo?
Ponyo?
I haven't seen Ponyo, but I own Ponyo.
It was like my
It's another Ghibli.
Like Ghibli style movies.
Interesting.
Fun little fish girl. It's a fun little story.
Fish girl. Oh, that would make you horny as well, I bet.
No.
All right, over there, you little fucking
Ponyo is like
you
maybe
little freak.
Ponyo, from what I've heard, is like maybe more childish than Spirited Away.
Oh,
It
see,
is.
I don't know
It's
if I don't know if I can handle more childish than Spirited Away.
As I remembered it, it was like a very cute child. I feel like there's different types of childish where it's just like dumbed down, and then there's like a playful cuteness. And I tend to lean towards the more playful side.
Yeah.
As I remember Ponyo, that's how it was.
My favorite Ghibli movies are actually they're more adult ones though.
Ah.
Like I really love Princess Mononoke. I think that movie, like even putting my personal kind of like connection to it and like the things it did for me in my life as like a kid aside, like I don't know, the way that kind of portrays like sexism, but also like care for the environment and like the concerns that movie expresses about global warming, and kind of like humanity's relationships with the space we live in, like feels now looking back like 30 something years later or whatever, like a movie coming out in the late 90s feels so ahead of its time, and like so meaningful in terms of like its messaging. And then, I mean, The Wind Rises is also like incredible.
Oppenheimer. Tell me about it, Grady.
Should have made it bigger.
Should have made it bigger.
The missed opportunity with the H-bomb.
I'll be real. I'm not a lover of Oppenheimer.
I enjoyed the movie thoroughly, but I also like that sort of history for me is actually, I just thought it was really interesting to see.
It bummed me out more than anything.
Yeah.
I used to have this nationalism in the back of my brain that liked being tickled, and now every time it gets tickled, I'm like, oh fuck, that sucks.
So yeah.
Wait, you felt good about America in that movie?
No, that's the thing. It's
Okay. I was like, bro, you're insane.
no.
Yeah, the anti-imperial message of that movie is really cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that movie pretty. I just enjoyed it. I won't lie. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit.
kind of weirdly related to Oppenheimer too, in a weird way.
I think that's the point. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not the grind, but like just the intense passion for something, despite all odds,
Yeah.
despite all the fucked shit that happens around it.
I think that's a lot of the point of the movie is like, oh, he became the most famous scientist on the planet, but like for what?
Yeah,
You know? And it's like, damn, are your goals and, who you are as a person worth everything? That's at least what I pulled from it as a, like, someone who has like entrepreneurial type stuff.
yeah.
It's like, are you ready to risk it all and like do that? Is like, like it almost shows like where you lose that like side of yourself. And like where he almost like has no morals, type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like loses all of his humanity, just become this thing. And it kind of shows that like, hey, there's more to life than becoming the most fucking famous scientist, most beloved scientist or whatever it is, because it's like it's horrible things,
Yeah.
I feel the grind motif is kind of dying out. Like for so long,
Thank God.
there was this idea that it was painfully American, but like, you work so hard and do this and do all the right things, you can be wealthy and you be successful. And inevitably, all the people I've looked up to in my life, at some point, tell the story of like, yeah, I got it, but like, I don't know, it's not what we thought it would be.
Well, and a lot of times, like, especially like with American culture, like to be that person, to be the wealthy person, you have to step on people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to fucking do that? I would rather be fucking poor than stab people in the back and sit here and be like, oh, I fucking all these acquaintances I had, like I fucking did all these things, made money off them, did this and that. Now I'm rich. Look at me. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
look at you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think it's as we've had more people in this country and the economy's kind of become more dire, it's become more that because it's like I think the kind of like American dream and the idea that like hard work will get you anywhere if you come here and you do it, like has sort of been bled dry by like the fact that like there's too many people and the money is controlled by like 6 of us. Like,
it's like, okay, if you want that money, you have to somehow be pulling it from these like 13 rich fucks. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
and then you have to kind of be in with them to an extent.
Yeah.
If you want to be like actually rich, there's nothing wrong with being like comfortable. I'm saying like, you want to have like fucking money, like
yeah.
you got to be like kind of evil, it seems like today, you know what I'm saying?
I think the last time or last piece of media that made me think like, oh, I want to be filthy rich was The Wolf of Wall Street. And it took no more than like 3 to 4 months of me thinking like, oh, I'm going to get rich off the stock market to be like, oh, no, like Like I'm kind of fucked.
I feel like you missed the point of that movie.
I did. No,
I feel like it went like
You missed
just
it.
over the head.
Grady
there.
was like, so if I just grind, I'll be rich.
Yeah.
And it's like completely missed that this dude became a total piece of shit.
It's like if you become a total scumbag and give up all the people you love and the respect of the people around you,
yeah.
you might get some money and also end up in prison.
At the time, I took like the frat boy angle of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a business major. And I'm
Sell me this pen.
Yeah,
Sell me this pen, bro. Bro, you couldn't even sell me this pen.
Do me a favor. Write down your 5 favorite things. Can I have a pen? $20.
Sell me this pen. Look at me, salesman. Salesman over here.
That movie like somehow ruined the mind of like our generation for a minute.
And it like just, it's because so many people watched it and just didn't understand.
Because they thought Leo was cool. They thought what was happening is like, no way, this is sick. He's getting laid. He's doing drugs. He's got so much money.
All I'm gonna say is teach film in school.
Yeah.
teach motherfuckers how to watch something.
Which,
Yeah.
in my school, surprisingly, like, no matter how much of a hick school it kind of was, we did.
Yeah, and that's
Which
a
is
huge
super
W.
interesting that, like, we, like, had a lot of, like, we just had, like, two teachers that were just like, yeah, we got to teach these kids film, you know? And, like, growing up, I was, like, about it because I was like, oh, I got to watch movies and then write analysis about it. But, you know, like, at least I got to watch a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Now looking back on it, it is like, oh, you can pick up, like, when you watch Wolf of Wall Street, you're like, oh, they're saying don't be him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying be this fucking guy.
I think that's what like most literature classes are anyway. It's just not through the lens of film. And I think
That's, yeah.
from
tough.
my point of view, I don't know, maybe I just had bummer teachers or something, but like it never stuck with me when I was trying to read those stories and like understand what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
So going into film, going into YouTube, going into just modern media, it was like you just took the fun side of it. That was like, oh yeah, drugs, money, sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the brainwash essentially.
Well, and also, like, half the books they have you read in, like, public school are just so shit. And I think
Yeah.
that's another thing, like, why no one wants to fucking sit here and, like, you know, have that sort of, like, analyzed brain. Because every time we're, like, forced to analyze something, it's like, oh, we're analyzing just the most shittest book ever because we're forced to read it in public school.
Yeah.
And then now everyone feels like that's just, like, not a fun thing to do.
It's also
So then they watch movie and take it at face value.
It's
Yeah.
also like papers aren't structured in a way that's engaging a lot of the time. Like I used to hate English, and now I write for a living.
Yeah.
And the big changing point was my junior year of high school. I had a teacher, and the only rule for every paper was it has to be 3 pages at least, and it has to be relevant to the material in some way. And other
Yeah.
than that, it was like you just get to pick whatever you write about.
See,
So
that's
it's like
how-
you want to do something comparative, go for it. You want to like bring in other media that you care about, go for it. Do whatever.
Yeah, and that's how it should
Like,
be because
make something interesting.
yeah, because most of us, at least me, in my writing classes, it was like, all right, have your thesis, have your 3 paragraph or
Yeah.
4 or 5 paragraphs. Here's your topic you're writing about. Go ahead, and it's like,
The 3 paragraph structure and the 5 paragraph structure is like such a. I get why we teach it, and I think it's like
Yeah.
helpful at a young age, but it's also like at some point that needs to like go away, and when that it never goes away in the way that people teach stuff
well, and
in
it's
schools.
similar to the like pop writing structure, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
In music, it's like, oh, you do this, this, and this. Well, if you fucking only do that, you're gonna make boring music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like not saying people who do that structure are boring, but like
You get locked into something.
you get so locked in and your music becomes this thing where it's like, okay, well, it's always going to be intro, verse, chorus, intro, verse. You know, it's like, oh, your music's not creative. Oh, and then the first guy to think, let's do the chorus first. So there we go. You know,
Yeah.
same thing I would assume with writing, where you just switch it up. You know,
Yeah. It's like, like what does the thing need to work?
yeah,
And like, what's
exactly.
the interesting way to convey the information that like I want to convey? But I think it's like, I think literature classes also struggle with the film thing where it's like in film, people justify it because it's like, oh, it's just entertainment. It's like hard to teach it.
It's fucking
And then literature, you bring a bunch of kids and they're like, yeah, but I don't like read books for fun. So why would I care about this? But like, I don't know. To me, like the moment that media theory started to click was I was in college, and the first week our homework assignment was to count how many screens we saw in a week.
Whoa.
It is
So
crazy, bro.
it's like,
you
think
get
about-
like thousands.
Yeah, so it's
right?
like, think about like in this room right now, we each have a phone. I have a watch on, smartwatch. I don't know if anyone else has a smartwatch on. There's a TV. There's the CRT. There's the laptop with a screen.
Is the DS one or
There's
two?
a screen on the what?
Is the DS one or two
DS
screens?
is two.
Two screens on the DS. All right.
So it's like you're surrounded by screens, and it's like you think like, oh, you walk around a place, right? And it's like you walk like I don't know, you walk through the halls at our school we went to, and you see TVs with schedules constantly presenting information. You see a smart board in every room or a projector in every room. It's like you're kind of constantly surrounded with these screens, and they're all trying to tell you something or sell you something.
Yeah.
And like, how have we, as like a kind of like larger society in terms of like education, not seen that like understanding those things and how they work is important?
Super important. Otherwise, we just get this deal where we're kind of at now, where people just, are bombarded by all this information and either take it in the wrong way or,
I mean, I think we're in a weird part of culture right now where it's like everything is like the biggest kind of movies every year are usually like Marvel movies, right?
Yeah.
Like Disney movies. So it's like essentially like what's popular is like, and this sounds mean, I don't mean it in a way, but it's like it's baby movies, right? It's like you can show it to anyone of any age and they'll understand it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like it's not meant to be challenging. It's like eating chicken tendies and fries, right? Like anyone can kind of do it.
Don't get on me about my chicken
And
tendies.
it's like we have these baby food movies, and then also we have to have a dialogue of like extreme criticism and analysis. So the whole discourse of like media right now is people like trying to talk about like Trotskyism and like Iron Man 4 or whatever, and it's insane. Like,
would you consider like Barbie a baby movie? Because it definitely has like a
yes and no
concept of it is, but then also some of the things they talk about are more heavy than that.
So I think it's like. I think it's very consumable, but I think like
that's the point, right? Because they want to get across this message.
so
The
it's,
infiltration. It's like it's like this is the
I
system
think
we've been
that's-
given, and how do we undo this?
Yeah,
system?
I think that's it, because it's like that movie's directed by Greta Gerwig, who's like up until this point always worked in kind of more of an art cinema space. And I think it's like she takes this format that's very understandable. And I mean, it's like every time they try and make a point in that movie, someone will like basically spell it out for you.
Yeah.
I think it's
line
like
it up with a joke to trick you into not being like
so it's like I think it is like a baby movie
It's
in
like
a way,
easily
but,
consumed, but also like it's not Iron Man 4 because there's
no, I think
there's a message here,
I think it's a movie that is using the vocabulary and the kind of structure of like more kind of baby food movies
yeah.
to make you think about the very nature of how media manipulates you, and also like how women especially are represented.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
kind of
something
like
I
what
see across,
Barbie means culturally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's a movement that's outside of just like it's everywhere. It's happening everywhere. You see it in songs often where like every once in a while you get one of those pop tunes where you're listening to it and you're like, oh shit, there's something more happening here that
Absolutely.
is kind of being masked. I see it as infiltration almost, because I personally have been somebody so brainwashed for so long of my life until I move out here and I meet you guys, I meet Nick, and I'm like, fuck, there's different ways of thinking about this stuff that I'm not privy to. And so like the question is, how do you like teach people who are so like so used to being told what to think or how to think or shown exactly the most brain-numbing thing that they can just to feel less, I guess.
Yeah.
How do you give them something to chew on to like snap out of the matrix, I guess, or something like that? I don't know.
I think documentary is a really powerful medium for breaking out of that, because documentary films are like for the most part inherently connected to our humanity, in that they're presenting like an actual person on the screen. And when you watch like a Hollywood movie or a kind of narrative film, like inherently the role of the director is to be hidden, right? Like most Hollywood films, like most Marvel movies, they don't want you thinking about the fact someone made it. You're not like sitting there thinking about the director.
No.
And like if
Iron Man.
right, and if one of those movies is well directed, you're not really thinking about the creative decisions behind it. You're just watching it and you're taking it in. Whereas documentary is so inherently connected to the voice of the director and the voice of the person making it that like you're constantly aware of those things. You have to think about the things that go into it. And like, why did someone decide to show me this? Why are these shots being placed in this order? What's the intentionality?
Yeah. It's like the difference between like watching fireworks and just being like, oh, and seeing somebody else's perspective on the fireworks, seeing somebody's painting of the fireworks and seeing like,
Yeah.
it's like a lens that you have to understand somebody else to some degree.
Or like, it's like we watched that Les Blanc movie about the Cajun cooking.
So good.
And it's like, you know, if you think about that movie on kind of like a meta level, like what was like, he was very clearly trying to present community, right?
Yeah, like a culture of people.
Yeah. And it's like, you think about like all the footage he probably captured. There's probably a ton of footage of people just kind of like hanging out on the sidewalk or whatever that don't convey the things he wants to convey as much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, like what was the point in showing us this information?
It's
and
true.
like, what does it create?
The art,
right?
the edit of it is like the art of deciding what I want to say with this.
Yeah.
What is my point?
And
of
then, you know, so it's like you start with movies like that are like, oh, there's something watchable, there's something interesting, but also like inherently you're having to think about the form.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was like realizing like, oh, like really experimental films that are ruminating on whatever and feel unwatchable. Like those are kind of doing the same thing.
Gotta think a little harder.
You just got to think a little bit harder, and they're probably telling you less about like what they are.
Am I allowed to talk about religion?
Sure.
I feel the same way about religion.
Okay.
Where like you're blindly, it's really easy to look into religion as a Marvel movie as opposed to a collection of interpretable stories with meanings.
Yeah.
Oh, too many people take the Bible too literally. Actually, almost everyone who reads it does. I'm like, you actually... okay, that's not a good thing to say, I guess. But I think there's a lot of teachable moments in the Bible and that a lot of things you actually can learn for.
Yeah.
And it actually can be a very, like... You know, you can learn a lot from that. And a lot of people take it at face value and say, no, these things actually happened, and if you don't believe it, you're going to hell. It's like, okay, this is such a toxic mindset to have about anything.
It's also a bummer when, like, people get in on like specific language that's been translated so many times where they're going to use like the specific use of a pronoun suddenly means this type of person is invalid. Or
Exactly.
That's where it like devalues like the power of like the Jack and Jill story of going up the hill. In my eyes, like those childhood stories are no different than like the stories of
Noah building his ark.
Religious.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. You can believe what you want, I guess, but I think that is a big story. That's an allegory, obviously, in my opinion.
Noah's Ark.
Yeah, it's just like it's a story to learn a lot about. You know, like
What's the allegory for you?
for me, it's tough. It's been a while since I've actually read it, but it's it's more just like I think it's just saying like it's tough. I don't know, honestly.
That's all right.
But it's more like. For me, it's like, okay, you. I can either think like someone wrote this and they're trying to teach you a lesson about like what it is to be human and like, like what people can do to each other.
Yes.
Or you can take it at face value and say, no, these people were bad and they all got drowned to death, and Noah built this massive ark and saved the entire world, and the whole world got flooded.
Yeah.
And there was a giant extinction event that somehow is not a blip on anyone's radar anymore.
Yeah.
Or you could say, oh no, this is a story that has taught a lot of people how to be better people.
Yeah.
And it shows like what people can do to each other and like kind of more to like respect your fellow human than to be like, this thing happened and this is what happens when you're not very truthful to God.
I think it's like a sobering story as well.
Yeah.
Of, like, get off your high horse because you think you're a human, and like there's no like these pairs of animals have just as much value as you as a human.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
yeah, that's the moral of the story is like there's a lot of really learnable moments that both sides, non-religious and religious people, refuse to see.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you don't have to be religious to learn from the Bible.
Yeah.
At all.
No, I mean, there's a reason they teach it they can't teach it in schools, but I had to do it through my education. Yeah.
I did not. You guys had Bible class? Wait, what?
We didn't
Wasn't-
have
so it wasn't
to.
a Bible
Your
class,
parents
but-
signed you up for it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was in private education at the time, and they did a class that was you had to read the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran.
So sick.
So you had to like read all of them.
Oh my God, dude, that would take like a year.
It was a year. It took a whole year. Yeah.
Dude, that would take so long. You'd have to read a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was, but it was. I don't know. I think it was good. Like I feel like I learned a lot, and you also start to realize that like the kind of 3 or 4 major religions that we do have, like all kind of believe a lot of the same thing.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
there's not,
It is so crazy how they all kind of think the same way.
yeah.
But they can't see eye to eye on a few
I mean,
things.
it's like they're all literally the same God.
yeah,
They're all literally the same God. It's just like
absolutely.
Judaism and Christianism basically comes down to like, has Jesus been here yet, or is he just still waiting for the first time?
And it's so sad to see people bring like violence to these sort of situations because it's like we're all thinking the same thing here, or like, you know, a lot of these people think the same.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're all just people. You know, you don't see eye to eye on if Jesus has been born yet. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it ends.
Even then, I think that's missing the point. My dad is we used to talk about this all the time, and he'd give me like, no, like scientifically proven Jesus was a dude, and blah, blah, blah. Like there's all these things that he's trying to prove to me that it's real. And I'm like, sick, but I think the point is like, there's this story of like the ideal human of like what a good role model would be in the perfect world.
Exactly. It's kind of like, and people use it against people all the time, and it's whack. It's more of like, this person should be like this role model person that you try to be.
Yeah.
And even in the Bible it says no one will ever be this.
Yeah.
And people always use it against it of like, oh, like if you're not this, you're bad, and you know, you see the fucking signs outside the fucking what is that fucking
abortion clinics? Yeah.
You see
God
those
hates
fucking
you.
people, and you going to hell, you know, putting slurs on their posters and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you being hateful?
It's
Missing the point.
It's
Missing the
wild
point.
too, because it's like you look at like, because it's like it does seem like scientifically speaking, like Jesus was like, and historically, like Jesus was like an actual dude,
Yeah.
regardless of whether or not you believe in his divinity.
Yeah.
And it's like you look at that figure, and it's like the dude was like the biggest fucking hippie. like,
Yeah, dude would be chilling.
like you know,
He
like
found the
homie.
first mushrooms.
Homie was like giving people wine so they could get turned. Like what?
like that's the equivalent of like, you know, the wook.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
trying to come over and get wasted this weekend? I got some bread and wine.
there's like a Pat the Bunny song where he calls Jesus. He's like Jesus was like a hippie like peace advocate, like anarchist, and
Jesus
it's like
was a
like
deadhead.
kind of like.
Yeah.
Jesus was dishing out LSD at
And now
Grateful Dead shows.
people are like trying to use it to do violence. It's like, oh, you kind of missed the point.
Oh, you missed the point so hard.
like
Yeah.
And it comes down to, again, of how do we consume media? All media. You
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
How do you consume anything, you know? If you consume that and you think, oh, I need to go hurt people, bro, you are doing this the wrong way.
It's also, it's like, I think people consume stuff like people go into things wanting to have their beliefs reinforced.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think like you can't do that if you want to like really understand something or like even really appreciate art. Like,
Yeah, you want to read it, like anything. Go into it saying, I'm going to go take this at what I think.
yeah, because like
They're trying to say,
I think
I don't
like
know.
one of the most beautiful things about art in general is that like it can take something that you don't understand and make you understand it in a new way and maybe like change your mind or like expand your worldview.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
We should.
well. The Wholesome Podcast episode.
Yeah.
Finally.
The woke movie critic podcast.
It almost went to being the Piss Podcast for a second there.
We'll get that next week.
It was almost episode 3, the Piss version.
We'll lay the tarp out. We'll try some new shit.
top 5 piss guzzling events in your life.
Hey, tune in next week for top 5 piss guzzling events.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Get him on the
Okay.
mic. Get him on the mic.
I'm a big pisser, real killer. Yeah. 100% that sinner.